What is up, YouTube? Welcome to another video. The grind continues. This is week 3, I believe, of this mesocycle. If you guys haven't watched my previous videos, the focus of this mesocycle is building up my work capacity through increasing my training volume every single week, every single workout. If you guys don't know what a mesocycle is, it's basically a period of time, usually around a month long. During our THP training, it can be anywhere as short as 3 weeks to as long as 5 weeks. And this period of training usually has a main focus that can be max strength, that can be power work, elastic work. It can be a cycle of load management, or a mixture of all those things. As you guys might already know, we use undulating periodization. So that means a cycle has a main focus and then we kind of touch on other qualities. So again, the focus this cycle is building up volume. Now, how are we doing that? Normally through a training cycle, like let's say for max strength, we'll start it at super high volumes, right? Now, what does volume mean? That's basically how much work you do in a workout. Basically, multiply your sets and reps and how much weight you're doing, and that's your volume. So a high volume might, an example of a high volume workout might be like 6 sets of 5, for example. Normally you go from high volume to high intensity. So high intensity might mean low reps with very high weight, right? Think of intensity as percent of your max that you're doing. Now you might ask, why not just do high volume and high intensity at the same time? Well, young Padawan, the reason is because that would be way too intense, and that would be how injuries occur. And as you can see here, I'm doing clean pulls. I believe this is 305, which was my top set for the clean pulls. Clean pulls, we're later gonna progress it up to power cleans in another cycle. But as I was saying, why not just do high intensity and high volume at the same time? You would get hurt, right? Now, this is one of the advantages of people that use steroids, like bodybuilders or Olympic weightlifters, anybody that uses performance enhancing drugs. One of the benefits of performance enhancing drugs is that it kind of shortens your recovery window. You can do a lot more work. So those athletes you would be seeing doing way higher volumes than like your average person. But for us mere mortals, we're stuck with having to choose one or the other. Now, one of the benefits of high volume work, one, you're going to increase the cross-sectional area of the muscle. This is a fancy term for you're going to get big and strong, get big muscle. As long as you obviously have a good diet, you're in a caloric surplus and whatnot, but you'll increase the cross-sectional area of the muscle. Now, studies show that you can increase power by increasing the size of your muscle fibers, right? A bigger muscle has basically a bigger potential to increase the power output. So that's one of the benefits, right? Getting big muscles, baby. Another benefit, it reduces injury risk, right? High volume work tends to feel pretty good on the joints. One of the things we do with knee rehab is we'll use sets of 8, sets of 6 for a high number of sets. The reason being, you can increase strength without putting a lot of strain on those joints. The knees don't like high intensity work, right? So jumping high, for example, 2-foot approach jumps, one of the highest intensity things that you can do. Now, squats for sets of 12 or 10, not going to be as intense, especially if you stick around that 70% range. So that's a second benefit. And the third benefit is increasing the work capacity. So we're going to be able to increase our work capacity so that we can handle that high intensity work later on. So moving on to the workout, I started the workout with some clean pulls. One of the things that we like to do is we like to have variety in our training, and you also want to see progression as you go from mesocycle to mesocycle. So this cycle, the focus is going to be on clean pulls and snatch pulls, which you guys have seen in one of my earlier videos. And those are derivatives of the Olympic lifts, right? The Olympic lifts being the clean and jerk and the snatch. really, really good exercises for increasing your power as long as your technique is good. So right now, I'm gonna focus on the clean pull. That allows you to work on that first pull and getting stronger on that first pull without having terrible technique. So yeah, that's the objective of the clean pull. Now, second exercise of this session was back squats. Now, John, he's been trying to kill me. So like I said earlier, in a mesocycle, you go from high intensity, from high volume to high intensity. Now, the objective of this cycle is different, right? It's not max strength. It's increasing the work capacity, increasing the volume. So normally, you would go from high volume to low volume and low intensity, high intensity. What we're doing here is going from high volume to higher volume to higher volume every single week. So last week I did, I think I did sets of 7. This week I was doing sets of 9 on the back squat. And I did my last 2 sets with 245 for sets of 9, which I honestly never squatted that heavy for that many reps. The first week of this cycle actually felt a lot harder, even though it was less volume, which is a really good sign. It means that the goal is happening, right? My work capacity is going up, which I'm really happy about. Another thing I started doing at the beginning of this mesocycle is I started taking creatine again. Creatine is one of the few supplements that I highly recommend for anybody that's a strength or power athlete. Back in July 2020, it was when I tested 48-inch vertical, I touched 12.1, which I haven't beat yet, and I was taking creatine around that time. I had started taking creatine, I think, around April of 2020, and through that period of time, my strength increased a lot. I don't remember too well off the top of my head what the science behind creatine is. I think so. Your muscles, they create phosphocreatine, I believe, and then it like breaks down when you do work, right? Creates ATP and all that stuff. Creatine allows you to basically make a little bit more ATP so that you can do a little bit more during your workouts, right? You can kind of, instead of being able to do 7 reps, you might be able to pull out 9 reps in a set, which in turn will allow you to make more gains, because the power of compounding, you'll be able to keep making more and more gains. Finished the workout with single leg calf raises with a dumbbell. I was supposed to do it on a Smith machine, but honestly, I was way too lazy. But that is basically it for the video, guys. Make sure you like the video. It helps out the channel tremendously. Go to THPstrength.com if you want me to coach you personally. Peace out.